Birdcage is a fantastic movie. The genre is comedy, and it is very funny, but at the same time, it makes me sad. This is the story of Armand and Arthur Goldman, the owner and star performer respectively of the titular Birdcage, a drag club. They must pose as a straight couple to appease the conservative parents of Armand's son's new fiancée. But since it's a comedy, of course, it's not gonna be easy. The conservative in-laws are framed as the villains, but don't be fooled. The antagonist of The Birdcage is not Senator What's-His-Nuts. It's Val. He is a terrible, selfish son. And that's what I'd really like to talk about today. But first, our leads. Armand is played by Robin Williams, therefore he comes with some of the classic Williams character traits. But he's not just a character actor caricature. Armand takes his job seriously. His drag show is not a joke to him, and neither is his sexuality. He's perhaps the only character in any mainstream media that I've ever seen who is 100% proud of who he is and completely and utterly unwilling to change who he is for the comfort of anyone. His life story is never laid bare for us to see, but anyone who's gay, or hell, anyone who's a human being, can see that he's suffered for who he is in his youth. Like many of our kind in this world, he has had to suppress his identity for the comfort of fuckwits, and as a grown man he has decided to never do so again. But he still plays the part of a straight man all the same. He does it for his son, who, despite everything, he loves. Albert is high maintenance and dramatic. He's easily put into hysterics and he jumps to ridiculous conclusions. But that's who he is, and he doesn't deserve to be treated the way that he's treated throughout the film. He too has clearly been persecuted throughout his life for who he is, and unlike Armand, he isn't even completely secure in who he is. He's easily susceptible to criticism and is deeply, deeply hurt when Val wants him out of the picture. I like how their relationship is portrayed. From what I know, straight people often glamorize gay relationships, but Armand and Arthur are real people. They have misunderstandings and they don't always get along, but they love each other. In the most touching scene of the film, Armand makes his love for Albert very clear as they sign a palimony agreement and officially become partners. They hold hands and they just sit. This movie isn't really about Val's marriage, it's about theirs. But unfortunately, Albert still has some suffering to go through. The scene where he comes out before Armand and Val in a suit, desperately trying to fit expectations, is completely heartbreaking. Val just won't be satisfied. Before this happens, when Albert all but declares that he's going to go kill himself, Val doesn't give a fuck. He is a horrible, horrible young man. He claims that he doesn't want his dad to change and that there's nothing about him that he doesn't like, but over half of his lines just make it obvious that it's all a lie. He cares more about what his future parents-in-law think instead of valuing the comfort of his real family. One could say that his fiancée Barbara is to blame. She was the one who made the initial claim that Val's parents were straight after all. But I disagree. She is a liberal child in a conservative household. She is afraid of her parents and their views. It's Val who is to blame for all this. At every moment he suppresses his father and who he is. He's ashamed of Albert. Against Armand's wishes, he has Catherine, his birth mother, come to dinner and then acts like he's doing the right thing. He's torturing his father. And fuck the in-laws. Let them know the truth. Let them deal with the horror and the shame of having ties to the gays. Let Keeley lose the election. Fuck them. They are racist, anti-Semitic, homophobic, and everything else that defines most Trump voters. Fuck them. They don't have to be involved in the marriage any more than having produced the bride. I forgive Barbara for lying because of what I said earlier. She's not like Val. She's a responsible young lady who got herself tested for STIs on her own steam. And when the charade is uncovered, her parents emotionally manipulate her into leaving with them. She doesn't want to, but again, she's afraid. She tells the Goldmans that she would have loved to be in their family, and I believe her. She's too good for Val. It doesn't help that he's 20 and she's only 18, which isn't that big a difference, but it bothers me, so She belongs more in the Goldman family than in her own, and Val belongs to the Keeleys. I think that this was on purpose, and that's nice. Would have been nicer if Val had changed in the same way it's somewhat implied that the senator does by the end. I say somewhat implied, but how do we know? The ending jumps straight to the wedding. In the epilogue that exists in my head, yes, we're doing this one again, Val and Barbara's marriage doesn't work out. But instead of Val staying in his family with his parents, he fucks off forever into oblivion while Barbara stays. He doesn't deserve a loving and forgiving family because Val never apologizes. Yes, he announces that Albert is his true mother, which is nice and all, but he never apologizes to him. He's awful. I hate him. A gay child would never do this to their straight parents, because that's not how the world works. It's the straight people who are the, quote, norm. Straight people, obviously not all of them, but a lot, think that gay parents will try to force their sexuality onto their children. And, like, not only does this not fucking happen, in The Birdcage, it's the child forcing his sexuality onto his parents. Val truly is the villain here. I feel like this video is a little bit more rushed and not quite as coherent as my previous two, but I just wanted to put something together because I really enjoy making videos and I want to do it more often, and even though I have an audience of 4 people, it's, it makes me happy, so that's where we're at. Thank you for watching.